What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor at Fightful.com, FightfulWrestling.com. You can head over there tomorrow morning. Maybe you're listening to this on Wednesday morning. Got my match ratings for Smackdown Live up there. Have them for Raw, too. I'll have them for All In this weekend. We have a live All In post-show podcast. We've got content from All In all week. Interviewed Cyrus Fees, who was the announcer for Global Force Wrestling, is going to be doing some broadcasting for StarCast as well. Check that out, youtube.com/Fightful or over at Fightful.com, FightfulPods.com. We make it real easy. You want wrestling news? FightfulWrestling.com. You want MMA news? FightfulMMA.com. You want YouTube videos? YouTube.com/Fightful. You want that premium content? FightfulSelect.com, where you can get extra podcasts, retro reviews, Q&A podcasts, dark match commentary. I posted a lot of early access to articles for the future. My Making a Finisher series, several of them are up there already. Check it out. Lots of cool stuff over there. But of course, FightfulWrestling.com is where we're breaking wrestling news all the time, including several spoilers. Ahead of this SmackDown Live, we broke the news that Booker T would return to this show. But returning to this show tonight is one Alex Pawlowski. And Alex, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you still write for us?
Man, I wish I had the time to devote.
Izzy took a choke slam, Alex.
It's true. She did. She did.
It's right up your alley.
I'll have to take a look at the footage of that. There's a lot of hemming and hawing about that.
Yeah,
Chelsea was fairly safe, but
Chelsea Green was not happy. I don't think Lindsay Dorado was happy either.
No.
Let's talk about SmackDown Live. Let's jump right into it. I rather enjoyed this show tonight. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought the main event was good. Thought there was some good wrestling on this show, some good build. We set up some things for next week. Let's go ahead and get into it. But Alex, your thoughts on the show in its totality?
I liked it. I think that there's a lot of really solid movement towards new, interesting things on the SmackDown brand. It appears, lest we get ahead of ourselves, they may have pivoted to make
pivot
to make themselves not look like total idiots.
Your connection is trash. Reset it, please.
Oh no.
I will carry the open of this show. The New Day come out and tout their success as 5-time tag team champions. They are interrupted by a returning King Booker, as reported by FightfulWrestling.com. Check us out. Not just Booker T, although he does get the "Can You Dig It, Sucka" intro. He has the full cape and scepter. He is out in his royal garb. He's ready to go. So he comes out and has a royal decree. He names Xavier Woods Lord Xavier the Wise. Kofi Kingston is Sir Kofi the Brave. But Big E is just Big E. And Alex, Big E is kind of upset about that.
Yeah, I saw that too. I think it's really easy just to do Big E the Large. I think that's in itself is a really fun joke. But the problem with that is you've gone full Saxton joke.
Yeah, they went there. They went there. Your connection's still bad, by the way. Anyway, they went there and Big E said, "You've went full Saxton," in which set Booker off. He was not happy about this. He hit everybody with the "Tell me you did not just say that." I thought this was harmless fun. It was good fun. It was a nice way to get Booker T on TV in Toronto. Wasn't expecting it. Now, last night I mentioned, and it'll be in the weekly, and it's up on FightfulSelect.com for subscribers. They played the Trish Stratus return last night very close to the vest. Like, people that I talked to backstage knew that Elias was going to get interrupted, but they didn't know by who. Tonight, the Booker T thing wasn't that much of a secret. He was backstage. He was there. They didn't hold that as close to the vest as they did the Trish Stratus thing. But I thought that this was Booker T doing a spin-a-rooney, which 2 years ago, he didn't think he was ever going to be able to do again after elbow surgery. Alex, good harmless fun, I thought here.
I liked it very much. The 5-time thing is certainly the trademark of Booker T. So to see him welcome the New Day into the 5-time club was very heartwarming to me. It was all around good fun.
So nothing of note here, really. I do kind of hope that Xavier and Kofi's names are actually changed now.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I'm doubting it as well. The Bar defeated the Good Brothers and the Colognes. Usually above matches like this, I'll put tag team tournament or title eliminator or something. I didn't put anything above this because what can I put? One in a series of matches to determine a contender for the tag team title. Now, I mentioned they wouldn't bring up tournament, and they have done that recently. Maybe they just didn't want to go back to it. I haven't heard back, but I have asked. Just a little weird.
I agree. Very weird. Series of matches is not my preferred nomenclature for such a thing.
I would imagine the pressure is on the Colognes, who are back tonight after 8 months off. There are about 10 teams in WWE at the same level as them, most of which have not had a decade and a half dozen shots to get over. Thought they were fine in this match, though. But Primo debuted on this roster a decade ago, Alex.
Wow. It is kind of hard to believe these guys have been around for so long. And I don't remember the last time we saw them on TV. I know they're dealing with an injury, but just to show up and all of a sudden they get put right into the series of matches, you think they'd have to win like a play-in game or something.
So Gallows and Anderson, I'm glad, are back. They've worked so hard to get into shape, and you can tell. They look great. It's nice to see them back. The Colognes go the methodical heel route in this match, but the Bar take over during that first commercial, including we see a decapitation elbow on Anderson. I do like seeing a babyface selling Carl Anderson back because he's real good at that, Alex.
Yeah, he is. He's very, very good at it. I like seeing the Good Brothers back on TV, even if they're not involved in a Finn versus AJ blood feud that we pitched last night on the post-Raw show. Still, I do love seeing these guys back on my TV. They're very funny. And listen, I think that there's a signal here with the Bar of what they could do with Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
While not keeping her full baby face, but not turning her full heel. Because the Bar just love having matches and beating up people. And if that's what you do with Becky Lynch, I think that she's still going to get cheered. You know, the Bar haven't been real heels in a long time. They're just really great tag team wrestlers who don't care who they F up. You know, and I think that's a cool way of doing that with Becky Lynch. They posted some stuff on social media, on Twitter, that seemed to suggest that they're kind of in alignment, so that's good. Yeah,
I saw that, and I think that's just them having fun on social media, but we'll talk more about Becky Lynch later. New Day are doing alternate commentary for this. Like, occasionally we get live look-ins at their commentary, Alex.
Yeah, I as I said, I'd like to see like a alternate track you could switch to, maybe via the network to watch this, or Facebook Live. They sometimes do that with the New Day. I would much rather watch them scream about pancakes while a match is going on than Tom Phillips say "oh" for the 70th time.
Yeah, I'm about done with that as well. Anderson hits a spine buster. We get a 2D from the Good Brothers, the old backdrop neck breaker. I think that Bayley and Sasha were using briefly, right?
Yeah, they're using that. I think B Team was using it as their finisher for a bit before they were tag team champs. Okay, cool.
We see Epico hit a backstabber on a Magic Killer attempt. The Bar run wild and get the pin after the Colognes had hit a double backstabber on Gallows. So they kind of stole the match. Backstage, Paige tells Rusev Day that they're facing the Usos' insanity. And if they win, they will face the Bar and be one step closer to a title match at Hell in a Cell. Would not say tournament, would not say eliminator.
Nope.
Okay. But Rusev's reaction when he found out that Aiden English got them that match was wonderful.
It was so good.
Like, he acted kind of like a babyface when he was a heel, but he's really cheesing it up now.
Oh, it's great. I love seeing these three happy and back together, which of course means that Aiden English is turning on Rusev next week, because we can't have anything that we like. This is why we can't have nice things.
I'll try to be optimistic about this. I'm hoping that they saw it and they surveyed the land and they thought,
yeah,
this is the best idea.
I will also be optimistic while also being realistic.
Well, the thing is, I try to be. I mean, we cover so much wrestling, man. I try my best to be as optimistic as possible, but I would say about 90% of the time that optimism is shot down.
Yep.
Jeff Hardy comes out, cuts his typical weirdo promo. Point being, he wants Randy Orton to come out. I just want to say Jeff Hardy is such a shit promo.
Yeah, he really is. Poor guy.
And Orton comes out, runs through his nicknames. And he says his three letters are the most devastating force in the WWE. RK. And then Jeff goes, no! This was so corny.
Cheese balls.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
This is cornier than a Nebraska turd. It was so bad. And Jeff Hardy challenges Orton to Hell in a Cell, and I'm like, all right, I guess that's what sets up the blood feud is some good old-fashioned ear ripping. And I could just see Jeff Hardy jumping from the ceiling of the venue through the roof of the cell with Randy Orton dangling from his earlobe.
I mean, you joke about it, but that guy is absolutely doing a swanton off of the cell. And I don't recall the last time I was so worried for a wrestler's well-being and health going into the match as I am for Jeff going into this thing. Like I feel like he's the kind of guy. There's those old Viking warriors. The only way they wanted to go out was death in battle. And I feel like that's the way Jeff Hardy feels. Like the only way I want to go out is like on a stretcher. Like that is the end of my career, is legit on a stretcher. And I can never wrestle, because if I'm physically able to wrestle again, I'm going to keep doing it. So my last is going to go all like, he feels like that kind of guy to me. And so I'm for his well-being because he doesn't maybe have his best interests in heart, because
I definitely
some crazy stuff. That swanton on the apron was nuts.
It seems like Matt is starting to come around on stuff like that. I know he didn't go on the road with WWE on that killer road tour, or on that killer international tour. He's sitting at home right now. But this promo, man, not my speed for sure. Billie Kay defeated Naomi. Iconics promo, they trashed the Raptors, and I loved how they responded to it. They being the fans and they being the Iconics. The fans started to chant, "Let's go Raptors," and the Iconics just they got shut down by it, and they really sold it.
Yeah,
I thought this was outstanding. They maximized what they could do on screen.
Yeah, I like them. Just going, this isn't what we thought. You guys are supposed to be intimidated by us. Oh, we're gonna abort mission. I like when the heels can pivot like that in the moment. I would like for Naomi to get a tag partner so we don't have to see her lose these singles matches.
You know what? Bree's back, Nikki's back. You've got Zelina working matches. You've got Lana working matches. Maurice's. Let's get Cameron back. Reunite the Funkadactyl. No, it was a joke, damn it.
Sure, and anything. How about Asuka? She hasn't been seen on TV in a long time.
Funny story about Cameron. So my thing is, as soon as somebody gets released from WWE, always hit up them or their management for an interview. Standard stuff. Strike while the iron is hot type of shit. So when I worked at Wrestling Inc., I also ran like the comment boards on some of those, and I would just write some comments as the show went along, generate conversation. Stuff like what 777 King of Indie Style do on our boards now. And I think I made a negative comment about Cameron's wrestling ability. And when I reached out to her management, they said, "We want an apology for a comment you left on the Wrestling Inc. comment board about her wrestling ability." And I'm like, wow. Like they really were. I was shocked. I was like, how do you all even know? I was like, well, first off, no, piss off, mate. But second off, no, that's not happening. But I was kind of impressed. I was like, bro, I don't know who you are, but you did your extra work. you did it. You did it. I didn't end up getting that interview. Go figure. But somebody else did. So I howled at Corey Graves' Great Muta reference when Billie Kay got tangled up in Naomi's hair and whatever coloring that Naomi had used flew out like a powder.
Yeah.
What was that? I'm not hip to that.
I don't know. I don't have hair, so I very rarely color it.
I guess I should get hip to it, right?
Yeah, you should.
If I ever get that WWE job.
Yeah, you need to like little green on the frost the tips there.
Yeah. Well, my gear's blue tonight, so I would go with the baby blue.
The blue, yeah. Good idea.
I think Billie Kay fits her role really well. I think she's going to be around a long time. I don't think she'll be world champion. Maybe she will. You never know. But she can handle herself in the ring, and I think she sells very well. Some people don't like the way that she sells. I love it.
I think it's fine. I think there's a place for her type of wrestling. I think if they ever get around to doing women's tag titles, that Peyton and Billie will be multi-time champions.
Oh, of course.
I think they're made for that kind of thing.
So I thought this was fine. I thought it's a pretty good omen because, if you were going to harp on one thing of the Iconics, it was probably going to be Billie Kay's in-ring work. And I think she's been just fine. And like I said, in this role, even though, Naomi lost, Naomi still looked very good. And Billie Kay had to cheat to win. Peyton cheats. Billie wins with a roll-up. It was Billie Kay's first singles win on the main roster and her first televised singles win since November 2016 in NXT against Sonya Deville, Alex.
Wow.
Anything to add to that?
No.
Jesus Christ.
No.
That's trying to conjure some content here, Alex.
You shocked me, man. I of 2016?
Professional talker, Alex Pawlowski, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm flabbergasted. Like 20
singles win.
Okay,
yes.
okay. Singles, but still, like I'm surprised she didn't have. I mean, in the entire calendar year of 2017, no singles wins. That's amazing. Because
had a couple of live event wins, I believe.
That's true. I guess I guess that was back in late 2016. But I seem to remember her being in a women's championship match versus Asuka. But I guess that goes all the way back to 2016. So yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't realize that that her singles career had been that far down on its luck. But no, listen, I think these two are ready-made women's tag team champs if they ever get around to introducing those belts.
So if Daniel Bryan comes out, he's on the mic with Brie Bella saying essentially The Miz got what he deserved, and also alluded to the fact that Brie Bella punching Miz in the face gave him a boner.
Yep.
I mean, I may have added some of that to make the story more entertaining, but I mean, that's what he said.
Basically.
I mean, we had the week off from plugs, so I don't even have a Blue Chew plug. We're starting those back up next week.
Yeah.
But I mean, apparently he didn't need it last week. And I got to say, Brie punched Miz pretty hard. It was a good punch from a guy who taught some kickboxing in his day. It's a pretty good punch.
Yes, I mean she's got a lot of training from her sister, who throws a forearm. So
a hell of a forearm too.
Same thing, same basic idea. I think she's gotten a lot of training from the best. So this is fine. I think it's interesting that like Brie Bella gets that John Cena free agent contract. Like she's on Raw now for the second week in a row. She's working with her husband on Smackdown. She's on both brands. She's John Cena.
I could go for strong style Brie. Hey, it worked for Nikki Haru Bellasawa.
Yeah.
Why not a Briju Bellamoto? I could take that. You can see. So this promo wasn't great. Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina interrupt him, and I didn't think their promo was that great either. It was a really big waste of time. But Paige comes out and makes the match. And I loved Paige was great. Paige stole this promo in my estimation.
I loved the whole like my office is on the other side of the building, so I had to run in these heels, and that's difficult. But I'm here to say yes, we're gonna have that match right now. You tweeted that she's the most competent babyface GM in like ever.
Yeah,
and it's absolutely true. She is.
I would have howled if she said, "I know I haven't wrestled in a while, but I was a lot lighter in NXT. That run was something." And that seems like the kind of thing she would say, you know. That seems like the kind of thing she would do.
It does.
She is a ball buster, man.
She is.
So the match was made, and as you said, I tweeted she might be one of the most competent GM baby faces ever. And Drake Maverick's up there. I heard a lot of people say Regal, but I mean, yeah, I could see that. But I think that the only thing that's ever been gotten over on Paige is Joe selling her match for her better than she wanted.
Yes,
that's really it. Somebody said in kayfabe she got Smackdown $1 billion TV deal. It's like that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
So the match gets made, and this is one that Bryan's wanted for a very long time, Alex, and you see why in the contents of that match.
Yeah, you can tell that he was watching Almas. I mean, even before he was in NXT, as La Sombra, and watching him and going, God, if I get back in the ring, I want to wrestle that guy. And everything kind of works out. So they happen to be on SmackDown at the same time now that Bryan's back. And, I like a good blood feud between Daniel Bryan and The Miz as much as the next guy. But I could also see a best of 7 out of these guys and not complain. Like these guys are great. Let's see them wrestle each other many, many, many more times.
This was a lot of fun, and I didn't mind the finish because it means we're probably going to get more of this. And this is just one of those matches I would love for WWE to put on like a secret show. You know what I'm saying? Like Mystery Vortex, where you get there and maybe it's like a Full Sail crowd or something like that. And you get Daniel Bryan, Andrade Cien Almas. And I think that's a neat way they can make an attraction out of it. I mean, people rip them off all the time. They rip other people off all the time. I think that's a cool idea, especially if you want a way to make matches that there's no rhyme or reason to it. You just want to do something special and different. I think that'd be cool. Bryan drop kicks Almas out of the Tranquilo thing, and Almas does an inverted gory special and then gets slapped up real hard. Real hard.
These guys were not pulling their punches or slaps or chops.
That knee in the corner, too. Not only that, after the yes kicks, Almas hits a knee in the corner to follow. I love that. Where Bryan will hit his drop kick and then Almas just follows him straight out of it into the knee. Then when he goes to do another one, Almas gets a little too eager and crashed and burned fantastically.
So beautiful.
He used this teep feint kick. When I say that, a teep kick is the front kick, essentially with your toes to the body, and the feint is when you fake it. But he lands it lightly and then transitions into that elbow. I always love to see how he does that, and he's went back to that one a few times. Beautiful. A belly-to-belly superplex, and The Miz comes out to distract Bryan, but instead eats a suicide dive. Bryan has the yes lock applied, and Maurice attacks Brie. Miz jumps in for the DQ. And we got one hell of a beatdown. They beat Bryan and Bree down something proper.
Yep. Now I just need to see Miz and Maurice and Andrade and Zelina become best friends and go on double dates and put that on TV.
That would be get them on Miz and Mrs.
Yeah, get them on Mrs. and Mrs. Have them move in next door and have them be the wacky next door neighbors who only speak Spanish and make Miz pretend like he can understand it. It's just basically listen. Miz and Mrs. is basically a sitcom anyway. They got the wacky mother-in-law. Like, come on.
Let's be honest. If Miz needed to learn Spanish, he would find a way to learn it in like 3 weeks.
That's true.
For the company.
He would do that.
Marjo Mania is still running wild. What would her finish be? Marjo.
I don't know. With like stink face?
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
After yesterday, you had to go there.
I did.
Okay, so this beatdown is really good. Hammerlock DDT, yes lock. They make Bree watch in the corner. She eats knees from Zelina. Maurice does her old signature, I believe it was the French kiss DDT on Bree. It looked real good, what I could see of it without the zoom. Miz hits skull-crushing finale on Bryan. This was just a good, solid ass whooping right here. And I can't wait for more. Then we get a promo from AJ Styles in the ring. It's interrupted by Samoa Joe in the parking lot. He's on the Titantron. He calls up Wendy and trolls. Wasn't much on this, but I just like, Wendy! like that stuff. That's all right. I mean, I guess.
Listen, Joe needed to find his Regal. Like in NXT, his best promos were when he came out to the ring and just yelled Regal before he started talking. Now he's got his new Regal. It happens to be AJ Styles' wife. So he can yell Wendy before he starts talking. That's fine. I think it needs to be written into the bylaws of WWE. If AJ is in the ring and you interrupt him on the Titantron, you have to say, AJ, I'm up here.
Yes.
It has to happen. Just for the inside joke of all of us who know what that is. Because there's enough of us. Because that every time that happens, I'm like that you just got to say it. Just say it, Joe. This is fine. This build for this match, great. The first match they had was excellent, and in a DQ, we knew we were going to get this. A lot of people seem to be really upset that the match doesn't appear that it's going to be inside Hell in a Cell
at for Super Showdown too.
Yeah, they're going to have a series of matches, but instead of it being a tournament that's called a series of matches, it'll literally be a series of matches. And I can't wait to watch each match in the series.
Styles goes hunting for Joe, can't find him backstage.
Yeah.
I just really think they can do so much better creatively.
Yeah. Yeah, they can. Especially with security dude who's like, excuse me, sir. And then AJ almost punches him, but it's like, oh, wow. What have I become that I almost punched a guy? Like, that was really? That's what you're doing with this? Okay, fine. I mean, listen, this to me obviously leads to next week. Joe calls AJ from inside AJ's house while AJ's on the road in wherever they're doing it.
He smashes his Xbox.
Yeah, something like that. It seems to be that's the progression. Anytime you involve the family, at some point the heel has to find its way into the guy's house. But yeah, this is all fine. It's well and good. I do want one promo of Samoa Joe from inside a Wendy's. Oh, Wendy's! Can I get a junior bacon cheeseburger and a biggie fry? Thank you.
You need to retire.
I do need to retire. I'm running on very little sleep.
Mother of God. What have we become?
I don't know.
Carmella is interviewed backstage, and really the only thing important is that R-Truth comes creeping up. I love this. Every week I love this.
Me too. This is great.
We got to get a payoff. There has to be a payoff to this.
If it was any other company, I would say absolutely. We're just going to have Carmella versus R-Truth. It'll be happen on pay-per-view. It'll be a fun little comedic match. Carmella will win, and that'll be it. But it's WWE, so I don't think they're actually going to do that. Because the only man who can face women in the ring is James Ellsworth. So I don't know. I think it's funny. I really like the odd coupling of Ty Dillinger as the guy who's trying to talk some sense into R-Truth. I like that they don't seem like they would go together, but it works really well for both of them.
How many of these tag teams are they going to have on this same level?
I don't know.
Every tag team,
it's
marginalized except for a couple, man, and it's a shame because you have some real special tag teams out there right now.
Yeah,
you do. The Bludgeon Brothers, when healthy, can be good. I don't think as the Bludgeon Brothers is the right thing to do. You have Authors of Pain, who we know with the right people can put on great matches. The Revival are special. I think that I've said this before. The worst thing that could have happened to Heath Slater and Rhino was James Ellsworth.
Yeah.
Because he became the comedy relief on that show. But their push a couple of years ago was one of the most fun things about almost the counterculture that was SmackDown Live at that point. It was that push wasn't happening on Raw and hasn't happened on Raw.
No.
You have the Club, who could be so funny, so good, especially as baby. They just got such a wealth of talent. You got to make it special. And I think almost what they have to do is kind of have like one of those super teams like the Rock and Sock Connection. But who the hell do they have as big as them?
No.
And have them feud with a tag team and have that, the Revival beat Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns. They can hang their hat on that for a while. Yes. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair backstage. Now, my toes were in and out on this one because commentary led me to believe that nothing had changed. But this promo gave me some hope backstage for Charlotte Flair. She refused to apologize for Becky Lynch not being able to win the big one and says that she's busted her ass to be successful. Now, when Charlotte cuts that promo, me as a viewer, I see that and I'm like, yeah, I know you have. But so is Becky.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot to go through. Man, there's just so many facets of this you can go through. The thing is, I know they won't. I know they won't touch Becky's break. I know they won't touch her retiring for like 7 years and no showing some of her planned dates because she didn't want to do it. I would love for Charlotte to go there as a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had your chance. You didn't show up for 7 years. You've blown every chance since then. But this seemed, I don't want to say heelish, but heartless.
Oh yeah, no, it's very Flair. You don't deserve anything that you don't win, and I won. I mean that's as Flair as it gets. Becky's had some pretty great Twitter game this past week. She did one where she quote tweeted a GIF that had Charlotte holding up the title and saying, "You threw all away our friendship for this? And Becky says, "Yeah, this is the SmackDown Women's Championship, and this is what I've been fighting for back when you were playing volleyball and getting a tan." Like that is what this whole thing should be about, is that I've given my life to the pursuit of that thing that you're holding that you really just see as a status symbol. But for me, it's my life. And I think that is what this is about and what it looks like it is for Becky at this point, because as we saw later in the night, all that whole, like, you weren't with me, because as we saw with the Twitter poll over the past week, they have been with you. She's not going that way anymore. And I'm really happy to see that, at least.
Main event time, SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair retained over Carmella. I have to put Carmella over. This was a fantastic performance from Carmella. Maybe the best match she's ever had, and she has improved so much. I was telling you off the air, Alex, I was able to see a significant portion of this roster, and I refer to it all the time, to the 2 sets of Columbus Arnold Sports Festivals I was at. And I got to see most of this roster work 3 or 4 times each weekend I was there. Carmella's matches a couple years ago were 10 minutes of body scissors and chokeholds. This was just a good wrestling match, a good championship match, some good spots. The daughter of Paul Van Dale's getting it done, Alex. This was a good match.
This was a very good match. This utilized everything that Carmella can bring to the table to the fullest. I think she's very good at being verbal as a heel in the ring as well. It always makes perfect sense. And I'm impressed with the way she gets in and out of spots. Like she's improved so much in her time on the main roster. And it's a weird thing because I made a joke to you that I've really enjoyed the Carmella run here at the main event. Yeah. And when she, after she's banished from TV for the next 3 months, I look forward to having her back because on SmackDown, we haven't seen Asuka in forever.
Yeah. Well, to break up the fight, that's it.
Right, exactly. Carmella's title run, among other things, served the purpose of keeping the belt off of Asuka, which a lot of people were very upset about that. I'm not really too pleased by it myself. But after that whole thing went away and she was no longer in the title picture, she's not on TV anymore. So it feels like this might be the last time that we get to see Carmella doing stuff in the ring for a while. And if so, what a way to go. What a match to go out on for a while. If you're not going to be on TV for a while, is to do this match this way. When I saw her make her entrance at 9:30 Eastern time, I was like, wow, they're going to give this match some time. I did not plan on that. I'm happy they did because I think she did a great job, and she's definitely brings a lot to the table whenever they're actually going to wind up using her again. I hope they don't banish her. I hope she sticks around and she's a part of things.
I've mentioned this before. She's one of the most verbally hilarious wrestlers you'll ever see. If you get the pleasure to catch Carmella at a live event, a lot of the work that she does is, I would compare it to independent wrestling work, like a lot in the real small towns, man, when you got 50 people and you're not going to kill yourself for a smattering of applause. You'll entertain them with your voice and you'll kind of sell that way. And she's so good at that. She's very funny. Carmella shoves Charlotte off the top rope out or to the outside of the ring after some big "We Want Becky" chants. What was it, you think, that Charlotte said that got bleeped out? This is immediately after she got kicked right in the surgeries. So I was thinking that she was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But have you ever seen Xavier Woods on Up, Up, Down, Down explain how he would mock Ric Flair selling?
Yes.
I want Charlotte to sell like that.
Yes.
She has to. I love that she's adopted some of Flair's mannerisms, like tumbling over the top rope.
Yes.
Some of those she's gotta she's gotta beg off of the corner. No. One of them.
and then thumb to the eye.
Bink.
Oh, she absolutely needs to do the walk a few steps and then just face plant.
Oh, of course.
That needs to be her thing. Like just all of her old man stuff she needs to start doing because eventually they're going to run out of people who still remember vintage Ric Flair who still watch wrestling.
Of course.
So it could be all new for a new generation of fans.
As Kyler points out on the chat, man, I think right in the surgeries. That's one. That's one.
That's good.
So Carmella hits a flatliner for 2. Charlotte counters the Stratosphere, which is the headstand on the first rope leading to the Hurricane Rana briefly. But I love that Carmella was able to fight through it and battle back because I didn't see that coming. Thought Charlotte was going to power bomb her or something.
Me too.
That would have been cool, but we didn't see that. But I am here for super worker Carmella. She did a suicide dive earlier in the match as well. A couple of super kicks, but Charlotte gets the win with natural selection and a figure 8 that Carmella fought through for a little while. What does it mean to you, or what does it say to you that they had Carmella fight through this? Because if they were to tell the story that her as champion made her grow as an in-ring competitor, I'd completely buy that. I liked it. I thought that they made Carmella look like $1 million in this title match.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I loved her selling of being in the figure 8, of her reaching and not being able to get to that bottom rope, and that one, like, oh, come on, like she really believed that she had Charlotte's number. Like, she had convinced herself that those 2 wins from before weren't flukes, and that she could really beat Charlotte one-on-one. And in this match, there was nothing to belie that fact. But she got caught in something she couldn't get out of, and she really had to think, like, if I tap out here, I'm not getting another title shot for a long, long time. But I'd like to keep my career, in kayfabe. So I'm going to tap out. Like, there was actually, you could feel her making that choice of tapping out to make sure she doesn't have to have surgery on her knee or whatever. Like, it felt real in that moment. And so few times do you see that, especially with women. They're not given the opportunity to, like, okay, so fight through this, and then you can't get to the ropes, and then you have to tap out. It's usually like immediate. That's why I always feel wrong when, like, Nia Jax in her career has tapped out immediately to a bunch of submissions. And it feels like that person in particular should have the opportunity to try and fight out of it because of her strength. Maybe she can't, and therefore she taps out.
Oh, I think strengths, weaknesses, and susceptibility should be a big part of stuff like this.
Absolutely.
You have a wrestler on the roster say that she's focusing on striking because she knows that that's Ronda Rousey's weakness. You have Bayley say, I know your weaknesses because I've exploited them over and over again, and I've submitted you, and other people have submitted you to Nia Jax. You play off of that stuff, and you make a little story out of that where maybe on a match that doesn't have as much juice to it.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch comes out after, attacks Charlotte, says that she's going to take her title back at Hell in a Cell, and calls Charlotte a bitch, and gets an insane reaction.
Yep.
A reaction that they would, I mean, I had people today on Twitter saying, you really think WWE is still trying to get Roman Reigns cheered? Well, yeah, I talked to people within creative and that do things for WWE, in which Alex can 100% vouch for, that flat out tell me that that's the way that it's going. I haven't been told that they're angling for that with Charlotte as much. Obviously, they like Charlotte. She's one of their favorites, and they think a lot of Charlotte. I'm optimistic that they'll pivot here, or at least rock with what they got, man. The thing is, I like a good $2 or $3 steak sometime, but goddamn, when I get that filet mignon, it is real tasty, and it's wonderful. And WWE often has the opportunity to serve up filet mignon because they've got some of the best goddamn chefs in the world at their disposal, and they've got all the tools there. And I'm talking within creative too. WWE creative gets a bad rap. They've got some brilliant minds there. Listen to anybody talk about what they had when Freddie Prinze Jr. was there. People raved about him.
Yeah.
Look at some of the creative things that Krista Joseph has been able to unleash on Lucha Underground. And when I interviewed him, he said 99% of my ideas got shot down.
Yep.
99%.
Yep.
It's typically one guy. That's what it comes down to. Typically one guy. And I hate to harp on that, but man, in all the conversations that I've had recently, that's what it comes down to. If he recognizes it and he says, man, there is some money to be made in Becky Lynch like this, I don't want her to go back. And at this point, don't have her go back on anything she said.
No.
You can maybe eventually now have her say, okay, my emotions got the best of me, but don't change her persona. This was good shit. Good shit, pal, is what this was tonight.
That pimp walk that she does up the ramp after her beatdowns is perfect. And listen, I think that there's something we so very rarely see rounded human beings as wrestling characters in WWE. There's something of like a possible of Becky being basically the baby face that we've all been cheering for this entire time. But she just has realized that her so-called best friend has been holding her back for years. And now she's super pissed about it. And she hates Charlotte Flair. And that's a character. That's a fully well-rounded character. But the problem is that in WWE, usually, if you hate this person over here, if that person is who we say the fans should cheer for, then you're a bad person all over. There's no shades of gray, but there's an opportunity for great shades of gray here. And I also think that there's a great opportunity with Charlotte. There was a possible heel turn they could have done with Roman Reigns a few months ago that I was really, really hoping for, where they could have figured out a way of Seth Rollins winning the title from Brock. And then Roman coming out to ostensibly celebrate with him and being like, so what is it, man? Why do they love you so much? Because they hate me and I don't get it. Like that's a cool thing they could have done with, like, among best friends. Like, they love you. They love everything that you do, but they always crap on me and I don't get it. What's so special about you, Seth? Like, that's something they could have done. And that's a great way they could do here with Charlotte and Becky. Like, Becky, you slapped me in the face and they cheered for you. All I've done is be the best, and they hate me for it. Why?
Ride the wave, man. Ride the wave.
That's a great thing they could do with Charlotte, and just do it.
That's what I'm hopeful they'll do, because I don't know what other way to put it. They're getting fuck you money from USA, and they're getting it from Fox. I'm hopeful that they'll be like, okay, let's ride the wave. And you know how they were such a babyface territory in the 80s that they typically booked for what fans wanted?
Yeah.
Fans are so polarizing now that they can change what they wanted. I mean, look at Reigns in 2000, was it 14 or 15? Whatever year that Bryan wasn't in the Rumble, had he won the Rumble, man, that would have been a thunderous ovation. People loved Roman Reigns. Braun Strowman has emerged as a big superstar. Look at MMA. Daniel Cormier is as white meat as a human gets. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's got a story that you can tell. John Jones can be the most remarkable piece of shit in the universe. Faked the nice guy gimmick for a long time, to the point to where I bought it for a while. He was all Bible-y and everything. And then when they got to the press conferences and the fights, boos for Daniel Cormier, cheers for John Jones. But now what happens? Well, here we are a year and a half later. Daniel Cormier is beloved in MMA. Beloved in MMA. You never know. You got to ride the wave sometimes. And if things change, ride that wave, man. Go with it. Go with the crowd. Ultimately, that's who you're appealing. You know, Vince McMahon loves his snakes and sparklers. But sometimes you got to get some Husker do's and some Husker don'ts for everybody else. It's not about you. It's about the consumer. And that's ultimately the problem, man. I think that people like Roman Reigns and Charlotte Flair are far too talented to be restricted by this type of booking that really harms them creatively. Because, man, like I said, I've dealt with people all day saying, WWE doesn't care if he gets cheered or booed. Yeah, they do, man. They do. Vince McMahon himself wants unanimous cheers for Roman Reigns. And if you cannot understand that based on the booking decisions themselves, I don't know what you're watching. I mean, that is the kind of fan that WWE would crave. Man, sometimes I like to be a little bit more challenged by the programming, because I know they're capable, and I know that's what the talent wants too. Why do I know? Because I hear about it every week. Hear about it all the time. They want creatively satisfying programming for them and for the viewer, because they know that results in more money. It results in more people. It results in more fans. making the product smarter isn't going to drive anybody away. I don't think that somebody's going to watch wrestling and say, God damn, this is too smart for me. I got to get out. Let me go watch the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
That was Smackdown. Really enjoyed this show. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was fun.
I agree. Yeah, there was that corny Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton thing, but you're never gonna have a perfect 2 hours. I'm excited for everything on the Blue brand going into Hell in a Cell. Looking forward to seeing who wins this triple threat tag team match in the series next week. I'm anticipating Usos, and either the Usos versus the Bar, Usos or Bar versus New Day at Hell in a Cell. I'm down with that. So yeah, there's a lot of good things coming out of this, and I don't know who they even have a program set up for Shinsuke Nakamura. He may get the pay-per-view off. It seems like they're doing that every now and then. They'll just not have a title program for a certain title. But all in all, I'm looking forward to seeing where the Blue brand is going, because right now it is worlds beyond the entirety of Raw right now.
Couple of plugs, guys. List and your boy wrestling podcast back in our normal time slot, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. If you didn't check out last week's show in Toronto live, do that. It's a lot of fun. I have my director's cut of my Toronto vlog up for Fightful Select subscribers. You all know what's there. If you don't, go check out Fightful Select to see the goodies we have there. We also have a clip page with some of our more humorous stuff over at Fightful Scrap. Subscribe to us there. Pro Wrestling Unlimited, they do a great job covering the Fightful Wrestling Weekly. Also do some live event stuff for us in California. Check them out. Over 100,000 subscribers those folks have. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Every podcast platform, period. We're everywhere. Leave us a thumbs up. That stuff helps. If you all want to help without subscribing, leave a comment on a story. To enter our contest for a DVD giveaway, comment anything with substance on one of our YouTube videos. Each comment on an individual video is another entry. So you can comment on this, last week's show, next week's show, the Raw show. It's an extra entry. Got a little bit of news to get through, Alex. Did you see PCO using himself as a human dartboard in a training video?
I did not. That one slipped by me.
He had Destro throwing darts at his chest. Darts in his chest, Alex.
Ouch.
Not really a lot I can get to in that one, but I mean, it was worth the mention, I thought.
Yeah.
Because PCO, if I'm any wrestler from the 90s, early 2000s that can still go,
yeah,
and I'm willing to put my body through it, I'm getting on that indie circuit right now. La Parka versus PCO is a legit indie attraction right now in 2018. That's wild, man.
That is wild.
I love it.
It's great. It's great. But it absolutely is wild to think of like the other guys who were wrestling at that time who you would never even think could possibly be in the ring. And honestly, until a few months ago, I didn't think PCO had a chance of being in the ring. You know, like that's nuts.
Programming note, guys, the Fightful Select Weekender this week, free to non-subscribers of Fightful Select. I'm going to preview All In. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, I have that live post show looking to simulcast with our friends at Pro Wrestling Unlimited, trying to work that out, but I will be live right after All In. That's one of the big reasons I didn't go to All In. Sandwich between my birthday, my wife's birthday, our anniversary, Labor Day, Cody Rhodes, just hell. I tried to consolidate the holidays, Alex. Then Cody Rhodes is like, yeah, let's put a big pay-per-view right in the middle of it. Right in the middle of it.
Right in the middle of it.
So there we go. But we do have freelancers on the scene at StarCast. We're going to have that on our Instagram at Instagram.com/FightfulOnline. We're going to have somebody at All In as well, Glenn Moore, who you all might know from the Jerry the King Lawler podcast. He will be there getting us content. So we're going to have exclusives all week long. And then you'll have a live post-show podcast from Fightful.com at All In. Alex, what do you got going on this week?
I'm going to try and see if I can squeeze in some time to write about a 12-year-old girl getting choke slammed at an indie event.
Goddamn right you will. I'm excited, man. Smackdown Live. Let a friend know. Tweet our stories. Comment on our stories. Anything like that helps. Listen, your boy, Wednesday. Also, I want to plug Fightful Holy Smokes MMA podcast. If you haven't watched it in a while, we relaunched it today with MMA insider James Lynch. He talks to dozens, if not hundreds of fighters every month. So he is able to bring us a unique inside perspective that most MMA podcasts don't have. Showdown Joe is a certified MMA judge and ref, has covered MMA for decades. He has a great historical aspect that you all can't get really anywhere else. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, follow Alex at Pawlowski IV. Follow me at Sean Ross Sapp. Follow us at Fightful Online. We are out, friends.